Hey everyone, just want to go over our schedule for the rest of the week a little bit before we jump into the do now. Today, lesson area and perimeter of irregular figures. Tomorrow, we're going to have a lesson applications of area and perimeter of our figures. Thursday, we're going to work on the review sheet, the 2D geometry review sheet, which will be accessible on the weekly outline today. That's going to go up there as a link. I'll also post it on Google Classroom. And then Friday, we're going to have a 2D geometry quiz through Google Forms. Okay, so let's jump into the math here. Our do now. We have that the area of a trapezoid is 45 centimeters squared. If one of the bases is 8 centimeters and the height is 5 centimeters, then what is the measurement of the other base? So if we just mark up our diagram, just a visual, we don't have to, but our height would be right here, our 5 centimeters. One of our bases is 8 centimeters. I just picked the top one as 8 centimeters. That's my guess. And then we know the area is 45 centimeters, and we want to know what is the other base. So I'm going to put X there. We know the area, so let's write down our area formula for a trapezoid. 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height, and substitute in what we know. The area is 45, so substitute that in for A. 1/2, I'm going to say base 1 is 8, plus X times 5. Okay, so as we go through and we solve, one of the things we want to do here is distribute to our parentheses. So we've got 45 equals 1/2 times 8 is 4 plus 1/2 X. And these are still in parentheses because it's still getting multiplied by 5. Then we need to distribute the 5. Okay? When we distribute the 5, we get that 45 is equal to 20 plus 5 over 2x. Going ahead, we're solving. Subtract 20 from both sides. We get 25 is equal to 5 over 2x. Now here we want to remember, how do we eliminate a fractional coefficient? We eliminate a fractional coefficient by multiplying by its reciprocal. So we take both sides, multiply by the reciprocal of the coefficient, which will be 2/5. Okay. On the right side, everything cancels and we're left with x. On the left side, say common factor 5, 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 25 5 times, 2 times 5 is 10, so the height is 10 centimeters. Now I want to quick go through what this would have looked like if we used our other area formula of a trapezoid, if we instead had done the area being base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2, because it takes a little bit of a different algebraic approach, and I think that's worthwhile. So had we done 45 equals 8 plus x times 5 divided by 2, so we could go ahead, distribute our 5. 45 equals 40 plus x divided by 2. Now to solve for x, I have to get rid of that divide by 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to eliminate it. On the right side it cancels, times 2 on the left is going to give us 90 equals, oops, I lost my 5x there, 5x there, right? That says 5x, jot that down in there. 90 equals 40 plus 5x. Now solve for x. We get 50 equals 5x. Divide by 5. And we still get x is equal to 10. So you decide what method you prefer. It's up to you there. They both work. We're working on page 25 today, area and perimeter of our composite polygons. Composite really just means put together, or we might refer to this as an irregular figure. And first thing we want to do here is look at our figure and see what shapes do we see? What is it made of? So I can see pretty clearly here on the bottom we've got a trapezoid, and then I want to notice here at the top, if I kind of put a dotted line in there for myself, I've got a trapezoid on top of a semicircle. Okay, semicircle, a half of a circle there. So to find the area of this composite polygon, I want to split it into its smaller shapes that we know how to work with. And I really a lot of this is about labeling and showing our work. So let's look at, why don't we start with this bottom trapezoid, and I'm just going to kind of label, this is my bottom trapezoid. Okay, so we'll do our work for our bottom trapezoid here. I'm going to write down my area formula for a trapezoid. Whenever I'm using a formula, I'm always going to write it down. And we want to identify. So we're substituting it. Okay, here we go. Bases, well, 4 and 8. Height, that 3 inches is showing us that height. If we were to slide it over, it would be right here, perpendicular to the bases. So height is 3. Let's go through there. Okay, 1/2. 4 plus 8 is 12. Half of 12 is 6. And 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, so our area of that bottom trapezoid, 18 inches squared. I'm just going to put dotted lines around it so I see that that pops. It's not my final answer though. Okay, so as we go to figure out our top trapezoid now. And again, I'm using my area formula, so I'm going to jot it down again, even though I just used it. Okay. With our top trapezoid, we can notice here we have our bottom base of 4 inches, but what's that top base? This line over here is really kind of showing us that these 2 points line up. So if this is 8 inches, this here is also 8 inches. So we still have those bases of 4 and 8. This time our height is going to be 5 inches. If we were to sort of drag that across, it would be 5 inches. Okay, so 4 plus 8 is still 12. 1/2 of 12 is still 6, and 6 times 5 is 30. So 30 inches squared for our top trapezoid. Okay, now let's work on our semicircle. Okay, how do you get a semicircle? Well, you take a circle and you cut it in half, and that's how you get a semicircle. So to find our area of our semicircle, we're going to take our area formula of our circle, pi r squared, and divide it by 2. Or we could have multiplied it by half. Our semicircle, we need the radius. Here, from finding our top trapezoid, we identified that this base is 8 inches, or the diameter of our semicircle. If the diameter of our semicircle is 8 inches, the radius must be 4 inches, because radius is half the diameter. Okay, so let's substitute in. Area equals pi times 4 squared divided by 2. Right, we're doing our exponents first. 4 squared is 16. That gives us 16 pi divided by 2. Now, please, 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 on our circles, I made some comments on some of your classwork. If we can simplify this, we must. We can do 16 divided by 2. It's 8. Simplify it. Write it down. 8 pi. There's our answer in terms of pi. We're told to round to the nearest whole number, which means, oops, yep, gonna have to multiply by pi. And since our other answers are in whole numbers already, we can just round to the nearest whole. So 8 times pi is going to give us 25.1327, so 25 inches squared. Okay, and last thing we want to do here is get our total area, right? So to get our total area, we're just going to add everything up. So we've got our 18 inches plus our 30 inches plus our 25 inches. Which gives us a grand total of 73 inches squared. So total area, 73 inches squared. Okay, so we're going to continue on. Our classwork today that you're going to post on our Padlet is pages 26 and 27. If your copy of a diagram is hard to read, refer to the PDF so you can see all the details. Remember, I want you guys checking back on your Ed Puzzle for questions you asked. I'm commenting on it. Also go back at some point today. Check on the classwork you posted on Padlet. I might have a helpful comment for you. Some of these questions are a little tough on pages 26 and 27, so I'm going to make an additional video giving some hints and going over some of them, but you should only watch those videos after you've attempted it on your own. Okay? Have a great day, guys. Talk to you tomorrow.